Believe me, they knew they had no control. Believe me, they knew they had no control. And the way very many of the Chayalim wanted tzitzis, there are places in the country where you can't buy tefillin, they're sold out. Okay, people know where control lies. Your question is it good that we have an army? So not only is it good, it's good that we have an army. That doesn't mean the Bnei Yeshiva should serve. I'm not going there. But it's good that we have an army. How do I know? Yehoshua had an army. Moshe had an army. David HaMelech had an army. David was the Rosh Sanhedrin in the Melech, but he had Yoav. And Yoav was a tzaddik. He made mistakes, but he was a tzaddik. Of course it's good for people to be committed to saving their fellow Jew. It's not even a question. The results of the effort belong to Hashem, but the will to save one's fellow Jew or to defend the country is only holy. Of course it's good that there are people who are willing to do this, and even if they're not so willing, but they at least acknowledge the necessity of doing it. Okay, but again, don't take this to the issue of Bnei Yeshiva, which is a completely different issue. Revealed miracles of the Six-Day War. What about the 1948 war? What about now? What about the 1956 war? We're here on miracles. Okay, so that doesn't mean we're not completely in Golos. It means that Hashem allowed us a partial return to the land. Bechasto. The Gra maintained that the process of redemption has two stages. The first is the physical return, and then ultimately you have the complete Geula, which is with Mashiach and Tshuva and all of this. But certainly he did us a great favor in taking us here. Certainly it isn't nothing. Relating to it like it's nothing is a slap in the face of the Hashgacha Elyonah. But the fact is, do we have what he promises us for Mashiach? No, observably we don't. We don't have the Beis HaMikdash. We don't have a king from Beis David. We don't, all the things were promised that we don't have Deus Hashem Kamayim Liyamachasam. Of course we're still in Golus. But he gave us this great, great chesed that for thousands of years nobody could even dream of. Of course we should be grateful for it. Okay? Are we allowed to have an army or presence? We're allowed to defend ourselves. Of course we're allowed to defend ourselves. It's not even a question. So even a person who would, because the government is so far from being reflective of the messianic dream, which it is, would say, no army, no government, because there are so many real imperfections there. If that person living where they live, they're sitting at the Shabbos table, they hear a knock at the door, they get up to answer, and then the knock turns into a bang. The bang turns into breaking the door down, and there's an Arab standing in front of him with a knife. Is he going to defend himself? Of course he's going to defend himself. If he yells, will his neighbors come to help him? Of course they'll come to help him. Of course. Of course he should defend himself, and of course his neighbor should help him. And let's say they're able to take down the Arab because the neighbor was able to throw him onto the floor. What do you say to the neighbor then? What do you say? You say, thank you. But that doesn't mean you think that there's no siyata d'shmaya there. Of course you know there's siyata d'shmaya. Okay? So